If there is one thing in life that is certain, it is that change is inevitable. To illustrate this fact, I'd like to tell you a story about my husband and I. A few years ago, I had an opportunity to move to the West Coast and pursue a career option that had the potential to be a dream come true. So we packed up our household on the outskirts of Marietta, Georgia, and moved to a suburb of Los Angeles called Bunker Hill. Initially, the move was a good one for both of us. My career began to take off, and I was more successful than I had ever been before. And things were okay for my husband at first. He sold his financial advising business when we left Georgia, so there was enough money set aside that he didn't have to work right away. After a week or two, he decided to start all over again and start the same kind of business here in the Los Angeles area. Everything rolled along as normal for the first 6 or 8 months. I had settled into my new career easily, and we both loved our new house, the friends we had made, and especially the wonderful weather of Southern California. But eventually, things began to change. My husband began to feel like the city and surrounding areas of Los Angeles were just too big. At one point, he told me that LA had just been too much for him. I hoped that this was just a phase he was going through because of all the changes we had made recently, and I poured myself totally into my work. Unfortunately, the situation didn't resolve itself. I remember one night I arrived home from work and he was just sitting there at the table in the kitchen. He told me that things were not working out for him here in Los Angeles and that he had decided to go back to the Atlanta area and pick up where he had left off with his old life. In fact, he had already purchased an Amtrak ticket, leaving that night at midnight for Atlanta. I had a tough decision to make. I decided that I'm leaving on that midnight train to Georgia because I'd rather live with him in his world than live without him in mine.
I'd rather live in his world than live with